So diaphragm releasing when I'm doing this, clearly because I'm talking, it's not related to my breathing, but we can connect that by breathing in through our nose and out through our mouth. I realized what a crazy statement that was. I'm breathing in through my mouth and breathing in through my nose and breathing out through my mouth. Oh man, it's interesting the cultural limitations that I experience and kind of act out without really thinking about it, which brings us to presence. I'll talk about that in a second. But so yeah, so just going to throw out the rules. And again, there's a bunch of videos that I've done, especially on the Back to Basics Sundays. If you scroll back, you can hear all the neurological basis that all this stuff comes from. But so into the nose, out through the mouth. Try to have your back somewhat free. It's only because it makes it easier to do this. If you can't do that physiologically, or you have some injury or something, don't worry about it. It's not really that important. But it is a thing. The counting thing is really important. So when you count in, breathe. When you count out, breathe. Just make sure the number is the same. It doesn't matter what the number is. This isn't a test. The higher numbers aren't better than lower numbers. It's just about making sure that number is the same. And practice is one of the most important things. And again, practice is what I do when nobody's watching, because I'm practicing so that I can get to where I want to be, so that when I do a performance, I'm playing the way at least as close as possible to where I want to be. And so yeah, and practice being sometime during the day when you actually do this for no reason other than doing this. You're not taking it up to try to help yourself get to sleep. You're not trying to deal with a difficult conversation. You're not using it for some purpose. It's just about practicing it. It's just about an opportunity to just be in the breathing thing. And I do that twice a day, every day. I realize it's a privilege to be able to have that kind of space to do it. Does not require a quiet space, does not require you being completely alone and isolated. None of that really it matters, as long as you can do the things, the counting thing, the in through the nose, out through the mouth. So obviously, if you're involved in a very specific conversation, it would be hard to be breathing because people would experience you not talking. But other than that, you can kind of do this anywhere. And yeah, I was going to talk about how, well, the cultural limitations thing comes up, and because, I would say something without thinking about it. And so where that brings me is this idea of presence and centeredness. What the breathing thing literally does for me is it brings me into a place where I am where I am. And once I'm where I am, I can think about what I'm doing in that space. And what's cool about that is it's way less likely that I'm going to do the kinds of things that I do, like, for example, talking, we breathe in, or whatever I said, our breath. I can't remember what it was now. But some kind of statement, not clear, completely inconsistent with kind of how I think about things. I think about myself as breathing. I think about myself as healing my body. I think about this body having effects on this body, and I don't, and you know, I've talked about euphemisms before. I don't want to use a euphemism to create some kind of interrelatedness thing that is fictitious. So one of the really, really cool things about the breathing stuff for me is that it creates this place where I'm more likely to be in the space where I am. And in the context of difficult times, only dealing with what's specifically difficult in that moment, instead of coulda, shoulda, wouldas about the past or what might happen next or any of that stuff. It's just about that space in that moment where I am right here, right now. So so that's it for Back Basics Sunday. Hope everybody's having a great day, and I'll be back tomorrow with something else.